this is part 4 of love, and I just wanting to go on. Before I leave Deuteronomy, I'll go to Deuteronomy 7:7. The Lord did not set his affection on you and chose you because you were more numerous than other peoples, for you were the fewest of all people, but it was because the Lord loved you and kept the oath he swore to your forefathers, that he brought you out of the mighty hand and redeemed you from the land of slavery, from the power of Pharaoh's kings of Egypt. Know therefore the Lord your God is God, and he is faithful God, keeping his covenant of love to the thousands of generations of those who loved him and keeps his command. But those who hate him will repay their face by destruction. He will not be slow to repay their face, though those who hate him. Therefore take care to follow the commands, decrees, and the laws I give you. If you pay attention to those laws and be careful to follow them, the Lord your God will keep his covenant of love with you he swore to your forefathers. See, isn't this so amazing? As it's saying in verses Deuteronomy 7:7, the Lord did not set his affection on you and chose you because you were more numerous than other peoples, for you were the fewest of all people. But it was because the Lord loved you and kept his oath to swore his forefathers, brought you out with the mighty hand and redeemed you from the land of slavery, from the power of the Pharaoh's kings in Egypt. See, if you put this into another context, are you having difficulty tonight to get out of the slavery that you are in? The slavery, the pain and the destruction. You could be having a problem with drinking alcohol. I knew I did. Before I was a Christian and before I gave my life to Jesus Christ, I had a problem. And I sort of didn't realise that my name, God had already had my name there. He'd already chosen me. My name was up there. But I wasn't listening. And it says here, the Lord did not set out his affection on you. He didn't set his affection out on me when I was not a Christian and I was a sinner. And he chose you because you were more numerous than others. He didn't choose me because I was any more famous or numerous or anything like that. For you were the fewest of all people. I was the fewest of all people. Who cared about some street bum? Who cared about someone drinking and all the rest of it? But you know what? Jesus loved me. Jesus loves you, and he can give you the same thing. And it says here, but it was because the Lord loved you. The Lord loved me and kept his oath and swore to your forefathers. He brought you out of the mighty hand of the redeemed you from the land of slavery. He brought me out of the land of slavery. He can bring you out of the land of slavery tonight. You have to make a choice, and it's up to you what choice you make. You don't have to make this choice. It's a personal choice yourself. He brought me out of the land of slavery. He brought me from where I was. And sometimes we have to come to the lowest point and the fewest point and be the fewest people, as he says in verses 7, Deuteronomy 7. The Lord did not set out his affection on you to choose you because you were more numerous than other people, for you were the fewest of all peoples. But it was because the Lord loved you and he's kept his oath to swore. I realise now that Jesus Christ loved me even though I was a sinner. I realise that he loved me. The Lord loved you, he loves me, and he kept his oath and he swore to what he swore to his forefathers, that he brought you out of the mighty hand and redeemed you from the land of slavery. He redeemed me from this world. He redeemed me from the slavery of sin and destruction. From the power of the Pharaoh, the king of Egypt, from the power of this world, from the power of the world. See, in those days, the Pharaoh, the king of Egypt, was the world. It was that world. The world looked at the Pharaoh and worshipped the Pharaoh, the king of Egypt. The Egyptians worshipped the Pharaoh. There was no one higher but the Pharaoh, the king of Egypt. And if you were to say there was another god, or you were to worship no other god but the Pharaoh, then you would be probably in trouble and probably get killed, because If the Pharaoh asked you, who do you worship? Who is your king? Who is your God? You would have to say it was Pharaoh, if you were of the world. See, the simple fact is that there are a lot of things in the Bible, and there's a lot of things that keep recurring, like Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. They would not worship the idols that King Nebuchadnezzar asked them to worship. They put their faith in God. They put their faith in God that Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego said, we will not bow down to your idols. We will not worship your God. But we have our own God, and we put our faith in God. They were already redeemed from their slavery. God had already promised them that the Lord loved them, and he kept his oath. If you stand in faith, you walk in faith, you walk in God's faith, then you can realise. And see, it's a little baby steps that you say, well, okay, I realise, I'm listening to this, and I realise that, hang on for a minute, God does love me, and my name is written up there. It's just a matter of me saying, oh, John here, I'd like to give my life to Jesus Christ. And once you give your life to Jesus Christ and you open up your heart, and then you can see beyond many things, you realise that God had always been there for you. He kept his promise. He kept his promise, as he says. It was because the Lord loved you and kept his oath, and he swore to his forefathers that he brought you out of the mighty hand and redeemed you from the land of slavery. He redeemed you from the land of slavery, redeemed you of this world. And now you walk in Jesus Christ. You walk in the love of God. And you walk in the love of God, and you walk in the love of God's love. But he also says that if you pay attention to these laws in verses Deuteronomy 7, if you pay attention to these laws and are careful to follow them, then the Lord your God will keep his covenant of love with you, as he swore to his forefathers. He will love you and bless you and increase your numbers, and he will bless the fruit of your womb, the crops of your land, and grain, new wine, oil, and casks. And as he says, goes on, and I'll just skip that thing, herds and lambs, your flocks, in the land that he swore to your forefathers to give you. You will be blessed more than any other people. None of your men or women childless, nor your livestock without young. See, he says you will be blessed more than any other people. In Deuteronomy 7, 12 and 13, enjoyment of the blessing of God's unconditional relationship to his people was conditioned on their obedience. If you've given your life to Jesus Christ and you are a Christian, have you given conditional love to Jesus Christ? See, Jesus Christ has conditioned on their obedience. Are you conditioned on your obedience tonight, that you can say that God blesses you, that Jesus Christ blesses you, and that his unconditional relationship with you? If you feel tonight that you don't have an unconditional relationship with Jesus Christ, you have to ask yourself this question. Have you conditioned your faith? Have you conditioned your love of Jesus Christ and accepting Jesus Christ? Have you conditioned on your obedience to Jesus Christ? Because if you aren't being obedient to Jesus Christ, and you aren't doing what God promised his forefathers to do, and you are not, if you're not paying attention to these laws, and you're not being careful to follow them, then the question is, God can't give you that unconditional relationship because you are not being conditioned to his obedience and keeping the laws. I will go on to part 5.